In the summer of 1565, the fate of the Mediterranean balanced on a knife's edge. Two empires, one Christian, one Islamic, clashed in a brutal siege that would shape the course of European history. This is the Siege of Malta. To understand the siege, we need to step back. This isn't just a battle. It's the culmination of centuries of conflict between Christian Europe and the Ottoman Empire. A geopolitical chess game stretching from Constantinople to the gates of Vienna. And at the heart of it all was a small island, Malta. By 1565, the Ottomans under Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent had dominated the eastern Mediterranean. And so, in May 1565, Suleiman dispatched an armada of roughly 200 ships and 40,000 men to crush the Knights once and for all. The Knights had spent decades fortifying the harbors around Birgu and Sanglia, especially the formidable Fort St. Elmo, guarding the entrance to Grand Harbor. The fall of Rhodes in 1522 forced the Knights of St. John warrior monks dedicated to defending Christendom into exile. Charles V offered them Malta, a rocky outcrop strategically located between Sicily and North Africa. Worse, Dragut, the famed corsair and naval genius, was killed by shrapnel during the bombardment. But this was no longer a siege. It was a war of attrition. Meanwhile, La Valette led sorties, attacking Ottoman trenches under the cover of darkness. The Maltese used fire ships, burning oil, and even countermining tunnels to repel sappers. But the Knights counterattacked with everything they had: cavalry, arquebusiers, even wounded men returning to the fight. It was perfect for harassing Ottoman shipping and containing Islamic influence in the West. But to the Ottomans, Malta was more than an annoyance. It was a threat to imperial control of the sea lanes. The defenders were a motley force. Grand Master Jean de Valette, a veteran of Rhodes, commanded roughly 6,000 men, including 500 knights, Spanish and Italian mercenaries, Maltese militia, and even slaves promised freedom if they fought. Though small, their arrival shattered Ottoman morale. Mustafa Pasha ordered a general retreat. They focused on Fort St. Elmo, believing it could fall within days. It held out for nearly a month, under relentless cannon fire and wave after wave of Janissary assaults. Militarily, they were outmatched. But Malta had something else: fortifications. It was a crucible where faith, strategy, and sheer willpower collided. But beneath its streets lie the bones and walls of one of history's most brutal sieges, a battle where 6,000 held off an empire. One defender was found dead, chained to his cannon, still gripping his weapon. And Malta? Malta is one of the greatest stories ever told. The Knights had lost about a third of their number, but they had held. The Ottomans began with a textbook approach: bombard, breach, overwhelm. When St. Elmo finally fell on June 23rd, over 1,500 Ottoman soldiers lay dead, and the Knights had shown their resolve. Suleiman's generals Mustafa Pasha and Dragut had lost valuable time and men. It became a bastion of European resistance and a symbol of resilience. With St. Elmo taken, the Ottomans turned to Birgu and Sanglia. Ottoman bombardments created massive craters, but every night, the defenders rebuilt. Food ran low. Disease set in. Still, the defenders refused to yield. On August 7th, the Ottomans launched a massive three-pronged assault. Walls were breached. Ottomans poured into the city. According to accounts, Valette himself fought in the streets with a pike in hand. It was the beginning of the end. The Ottomans were exhausted, demoralized, and starting to fear reinforcements from Sicily. On September 7th, a relief force of 8,000 men landed from Sicily. After 3 months, nearly 25,000 Ottoman troops were dead. Europe rejoiced. Churches rang bells from Rome to Krakow. Even Protestant England praised the Catholic Knights. The Siege of Malta didn't just stop the Ottomans, it redefined the balance of power in the Mediterranean. In the following years, the knights constructed a new fortified city, Valletta, named after their grand master. For the Ottomans, the siege marked the beginning of a slow naval decline, culminating in their defeat in Lepanto just 6 years later. The Siege of Malta wasn't just a clash of empires. Today, Malta is peaceful. History, when told properly, isn't just dates and dead men. It's a story of human endurance. Thanks for watching. Dive deeper into history with us. Subscribe for more epic stories from the past.